Now, the topic of today's talk is going to be, can you build muscle while burning body fat? I mean, can you do two things at one time? And I really wanted to go over this topic because we've gotten so many people, from people that are in our 56-day weight loss challenge right now to people that just come into our nutrition stores in Texas all the time and they say, hey, you know what? They told me that I couldn't, build muscle and burn fat at the same time. I had to just get big. I had to get on a dirty bulking program and grow. Or, it's going to slow down the rate at which I build muscle if I try to lean out at the same time. And, it's interesting, man, because if you go way back and you actually look at the old school guys, and obviously women, I'm not speaking to you right now, I'm speaking mainly to the guys, but if you want to build muscle and you look back at the older guys like Arnold in his heyday and all these guys, these guys literally weighed less before a show, and they would actually grow into a show. They would put on 10, 15, 18, 20 pounds of muscle getting ready for these, Mr. Olympia, Mr. Universe, or whatever they were competing in, while getting shredded at the same time. So you could say that recomping, which is the definition of putting on muscle while losing body fat, was popular and was being done as far back as the 60s and 70s. So to say that it can't be done is really not true, because we have proof and evidence, and we've seen it done over and over again. So the question becomes then, how do you do it? How do you add muscle while losing body fat, or how do you recomp, so to speak? How do you change your body? This is really interesting, because if you go to any one of our nutrition stores in Texas and Pureline, we've got 6 locations in Texas. Every one of those locations, we use in-body technology to test body fat composition, lean muscle mass ratios, water retention, things like that. And it's really essential that we do that, because it's the only way we can truly know whether or not your body is building muscle, or if it's losing muscle, if it's losing fat or gaining fat. It's really hard to tell just from the mirror alone. You'd never be able to tell. I mean, you have an idea. You can look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I'm getting leaner, my abs are coming out, but you really don't know. Are you losing muscle tissue at the expense of losing body fat? So some of those things aren't gaugeable or trackable, I should say, without using some kind of a body analysis technology. So that's really important. That's one of the reasons we have that in our stores, and we do it for free, so anybody can go in and get that done. But yes, it is possible. It can be done. And when you're recomping the body, you're changing the state of the body. You're building muscle and losing fat. And there are 3 things that are necessary to do that. Number 1 is right nutrition. Number 2 is right training. And number 3 is right supplementation. And I say right because it has to be the right blend of nutrition. So let's kind of break down the nutrition component, how somebody would build muscle while losing body fat. And this kind of, it should pertain to both males and females. I mean, because there are a lot of females that don't want to build muscle per se, but they do want to look toned and athletic. They want to look lean. They still want to have a tight midsection, not necessarily be really, shredded or hard, but they want to look good with curves, right? So they want to lose body fat and retain the lean muscle that they have. How is that done? How is that possible? Can it be done? Is it really something that can be done? And so let's start with right nutrition. First of all, right nutrition simply means balanced nutrition, having the right amounts of protein, the right amounts of carbohydrates, and the right amounts of essential fats. Now, I've always used and recommended people use the equation of about 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That always works really well when kind of figuring out what macronutrient intake you should have throughout the day. So let's say, you're a male that weighs 180 pounds. About 180 to 200 grams of protein is where you want to be at per day. Now, carbohydrates, that's the big question. Do we go low carb, high carb, medium carb? What do we do? Again, the balance approach works really well, and I find that about 1 gram per pound of body weight in carbohydrates also works extremely well for the person who wants to build muscle but lose body fat at the same time. I wouldn't go over that. So if the male who weighs 180 grams is right at 180 pounds, I'd stay right at around 180 grams of carbs per day. Now, I should say that both with protein and carbs, you should spread those throughout the day. They shouldn't all be eaten at 3 meals or 2 meals. Essentially, you want to do 5, sometimes even 6 smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day. Every 3 hours from the time you get up is fine. Now your types of foods, your protein should be chicken, lean meat, egg whites, things that are healthy. You should be able to look at a protein and basically say this is a high quality protein, doesn't have a lot of fat in it, doesn't have a lot of crap, it's just good quality protein. Same thing goes for carbohydrates. You want something that's a complex carb, brown rice, regular rice, jasmine rice, baked potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, even corn tortillas make up good carbohydrate sources as long as you're fitting them into your 1 gram per pound of body weight per day formula. You should be fine. Now, fats are essential. You definitely need fats for health, for wellness, and of course for growing and putting on muscle tissue. Now, how do you calculate fats into the diet? And one of the things I like to do is just to make sure that you're getting enough essential fats from your diet alone. So you'll find that in your food, in your chicken, your lean meat, your eggs, even adding a whole egg or 2 to your diet daily will cover your fat intake. And just to be sure you're getting all the essential fats that you need, you may want to supplement with a product like our Pure Essentials, our EFA formula. Basically, you can take 2 to 3 soft gels per day of Pure Essentials and you'll cover all of your essential fat needs. So you're set. You don't have to worry, should I be taking this? Am I getting my 3, my 6, and my 9? It's all done for you. So essentially with a diet, you want that balanced approach, especially if your goal is to put on muscle while losing body fat at the same time. And you don't want to go on a just bulking spree. You don't want to be, I'm just going to eat everything I can and I'm going to gain, 50 pounds and hopefully 10 to 15 pounds of that is muscle tissue. That's not the way you want to do it, because what's going to end up happening is when you try to pull off all that excess weight, you're going to end up pulling off muscle tissue too. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I like to recommend people do when they are trying to build muscle and lose fat simultaneously is to lower their calories just a tad on the days that they don't work out. So let's say you work out 3 days on and 1 day off. You work out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you take Thursday off. On that Thursday, you'd want to bring your calories down a little bit. And the best way to do that is just to kind of eliminate some carbohydrates from maybe your last meal of the day and just keep protein and vegetables in there instead. And that'll help you just kind of offset the caloric expenditure or the amount of exercise that you won't be doing that day versus the days that you were doing it. So that's one little trick that I think works for a while. And the last thing, if you are trying to build muscle and lose fat, make sure that you are in some way, shape, or form having one refuel meal, refeed meal, and some people will call it a cheat meal throughout the week. It's really important because it'll spike your metabolism, it'll keep it going, it'll keep your body working efficiently and effectively. Extremely important when you're on a diet that's helping you build muscle and lose fat simultaneously. Now, number 2, and something really important, is right training. How do you train to build muscle and lose fat simultaneously? Well, simply, you don't. You train to build and retain muscle, and you do cardio to lose body fat. So what you would want to do is make sure that you are working each muscle group, back, chest, legs, arms, all those things, at least one, a minimum of 1 and up to 2 times per week with good compound movements. You want to keep your rep ranges 10 to 12 reps. Use weights that are, causing some resistance, that are not easy to do. So it gives your body a reason to hold on to muscle tissue and even build muscle tissue. If you go to our website, www.thepureline.com, we've actually got some workouts and some different things on the front page that you can download for free. And that'll give you an idea of what some different exercises you can use, some different training philosophies, etc., that I've recommended for a long time now. You can also go back to our YouTube videos. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And you can check out all the videos that we've got on training and nutrition and dieting and mental, mindset and all that stuff. I think there's a ton there. So going back to that training part, you want to use compound movements, things that require a little bit of effort. If you're a woman, you want to do deadlifts and squats. Same for guys, because it's going to help you retain muscle and in some cases build muscle as well. So don't just because you're on a lower calorie diet, you're trying to lose body fat, go into a low strength phase. Make sure you're still training for size. You're going heavy. The intensity that you need is there. And of course, make sure you're listening to your body and taking the days off that you need to take off to get the best result. The other thing I think is really important when it comes to training is to separate your lifting and your cardio. Doing it all at one time can be a little bit counterproductive and it's a little too much for your body. If you have the luxury, do your cardio in the morning soon as you get out of bed, some type of HIIT training. If you don't know what that is, look it up or look into some of our older videos. And then as far as the lifting and the strength component, do that later in the day for just about 55 minutes. If you do those two together, you'll see better results in your physique. You'll actually get leaner, get in shape quicker, and burn fat much more rapidly. So try that out. Now the third thing is, as I said, right supplementation, because we've got right nutrition, we've got right training, and right supplementation. Right supplementation involves using those compounds that will help you build and retain lean muscle while losing body fat. For example, creatine monohydrate, 5 to 10 grams a day. If you're a female, creatinine, which is a form of creatine monohydrate that has less of a water retentive property and is very safe for females. If you're a man, creatine monohydrate is the best. You can get them on our website at thepureline.com. Creolode and Glutagen X, both of those are really good as far as a creatine and glutamine product. I don't know if I've mentioned glutamine yet, but that's the second one. Make sure and use L-glutamine, 5, 10, 15 grams a day just to prevent soreness and increase recovery. Another thing is you can use specialty supplements. Special supplements are things that help increase testosterone levels, things that help you improve the absorption of protein. Two that come to mind, Testojet, EpiShred. Excellent recomposition products for guys who are trying to build muscle and lose fat. For females, maybe something like Primovar that will help them absorb more protein, utilize more protein, and build more lean muscle tissue. All of that can be utilized safely, effectively, and can be done with minimal issues with your body. It's just extremely good supplementation and good programming to help you get the results that you're looking for. So right supplementation plays a really key component in it, and I believe that if all three of those things, nutrition, training, and supplementation, are all addressed, you'll see incredible results in terms of building lean muscle and burning body fat. But it's not just, one of those three, it's all three together. And the other thing you have to really remember is that when you're doing this, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You've got to allow your body time so that it can build muscle and lose fat. I think we get into this instant gratification thing where we want to see results in a day or 2 days or 3 days. And it doesn't happen like that, especially with your body. So make sure whatever you're doing, you're giving your body the time that it needs to actually get the results that you can get from putting these components together. So the end of the summary of this, is recomp possible? Absolutely it's possible. You can build muscle, you can lose body fat simultaneously. People have been doing it for 20, 30 years and it's still done today. It may not be as rapid as just going on an all-out bulk cycle or trying to gain as much weight as you can, but the effects and the results are much longer lasting, and that's what you're looking for: longevity, balance, and overall health and wellness. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you got something out of it, and hope it kind of gave you some ideas on how you can lose body fat while building muscle simultaneously. If you have any questions, you can always email us at info@thepureline.com. If you're watching live, be sure and like and share this. If you're on YouTube, make sure and subscribe to our channel. You can always contact us at 1-800-632-1402 and visit us at www.thepureline.com for all your health, supplement, and nutrition needs. Guys, have a great week. We'll talk to y'all soon.